As I sat watching the opening exchanges between Curtis Blaydes and Derrick Lewis in their recent UFC Fight Night main event, I found it hard not to fall into my usual way of thinking when the Black Beast comes to fight. I'm a fan of technical excellence as much as the next man, but there is something almost enthralling about the amount of success that Lewis has been able to carve out for himself during his UFC run. Now, of course, the title of this video is a joke. I saw something kind of similar in a comment section here on YouTube and decided to run with it, so there's no need to go too crazy about that. But even still, Derrick Lewis is not the type of single-minded lucky punch threat that it would seem. He's not as totally unskilled as he would have you believe, and through his hard work and his overall attitude, he's managed to show some serious improvements in there. Okay, when I say improvements, I don't necessarily mean in his utilization of new tools or defensive maneuvers, but make no mistake, this is a fighter who is coming into his own, well aware of what it is that he can and cannot do, and that is a powerful thing to understand. He knows that he is tough as nails, and he trusts in that enough to be patient when losing a fight. Though he's not a cardio machine, he has faith in his ability to retain his power into the later rounds. And while he has a very bad poker face when it comes to acting like he's not hurt, he is also aware that he is dangerous no matter how bad things are looking. I feel like you can have shortcomings in your game if you have a healthy relationship with them. Obviously, it doesn't hurt when he has that ultimate equalizer in his right hand, but the whole package to me is looking more and more compelling with each passing fight. Lewis has aspects to his overall approach that make him a very unique proposition at heavyweight. He is quite a large man by any standards, but he's also known to throw spinning and jumping kicks. His bottom game isn't tremendously effective, but he has this ability to just stand up when taken down by someone who isn't the type of top game specialist that Daniel Cormier is. And while sure, your best route to victory with him is probably going to involve wrestling to some extent, with each passing fight, the air of infamy that surrounds his ability to time a fight-ending shot just grows and grows. The way he read Curtis's timing on that takedown and the manner in which he caught him will certainly play on the minds of any of his opponents from here on out. Indeed, there are many routes to successfully securing a takedown, but there is no doubt that Lewis should be taken very seriously within this heavyweight title picture. I think that this latest result and his growing confidence have earned him that right. He might talk himself up like he's this carefree, easygoing guy who's just there to entertain, but don't be so quick to buy into that. I thought that Curtis Blaydes was going to win that fight quite handily, and for the most part, it seemed like he was on his way towards an emphatic win. Perhaps he was falling in love with his own striking game a bit too much, but in reality, it seemed like this was his fight to lose, but he played with fire and he ended up getting burnt. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment below to keep this train moving. We're looking forward to bringing you even more excellent content this year, so make sure you subscribe now to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads. Now, this win, like his comeback victory over Alexander Volkov before it, puts Lewis right back into that elite category. His next test is going to be a tough ask, there is no way around that, and in a fight against either Stipe Miocic or Francis Ngannou, I can see Lewis failing quite spectacularly. To be honest, it's a funny thing with MMA fans, but I know for a fact that some people would be revolted by the idea of booking Lewis against Ngannou again, no matter what the circumstances were. I've always found that way of thinking to be quite odd. The past isn't always prologue, and in the case of Ngannou Lewis 2, I'd be very excited to see what type of fireworks that would produce. Their first matchup was an odd affair by any standards. Both men weren't at their best, Ngannou mentally and Lewis physically. Thinking that the same outcome is a guarantee if it happened again is just foolish. But yeah, I think that's definitely the more competitive fight of the two in comparison to a showdown against Stipe. Lewis has the veteran savvy and power to give himself a fighting chance against someone as wild as Ngannou, and I know that the original fight's billing promised a first round finish that never came, but as far as the second helping is concerned, I really doubt we'd see any more than about 2 minutes of action, no matter which way it goes. I know how that sounds, but I mean, look, every fight is different. A matchup against Stipe Miocic would be pretty one-sided in my book. Sure, Lewis could catch him, but I think that Miocic is just on another level and would have enough weapons in his arsenal to take the Black Beast out in about 2 rounds. But then again, predicting Derrick Lewis's fights has never been easy. I do think that he has a chance against both, and I don't say that lightly. There's just something about fighters as odd as he is, something about their X factor that makes them the ultimate wildcard, even when the fight is slipping away. I do think there's a chance that Lewis could fight the winner of Jairzinho Rozenstruik and Cyril Gane in the meantime, as the heavyweight title picture gets sorted out, potentially with the inclusion inclusion of John Jones. But either way, take lessons from what Derrick Lewis has shown us. He's certainly not a completely different fighter to the man who failed against Daniel Cormier back at UFC 230, but I get the feeling like he's operating on the back of a newfound level of overall confidence. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a more scary proposition for the heavyweight roster than most people are willing to accept. So let's just sit back and see what happens. But how do you think the Black Beast will fare if he finds himself in there against the likes of Stipe Miocic or Francis Ngannou? Do you think that there's any cause to be excited about this guy's potential as a champion? Do give us your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like before subscribing to the channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads. Thank you for watching.